Outrageous Chapter 64. The wide walkway, the bright lamp overhead. The floors that had been mopped to a sparkling clean reflected Liu Jiwei and Liu Jiwei's image. Wen Yao was standing a distance away, giving them space to talk. They were returning straight home after this anyway, so there was no rush. Liu Shijiao stood in front of Liu Jiwei as if she was being punished. She felt that she was really too unlucky today. First, she had gotten lost in the TV station. Next, she had gotten caught by her sister in front of others. In the future, she would have to check the almanac before leaving the house. Liu Jiwei folded her arms, looking at her. Liu Shijiao, explain. She didn't know why her own sister would appear here. She didn't know why she had to wear a hat and mask, and even run away after seeing her. Did she look like she would eat a human? But what she couldn't understand most of all, was why Liu Shijiao lied to her. She clearly knew Liu Jiwei was an actress. Why didn't she say anything? Liu Shijiao's lips trembled as she considered whether she should try shifting the blame. Maybe use her dorm mate as a shield. Liu Jiwei looked up and down, her sharp eyes already seeing through her intentions. Liu Shijiao, Liu Jiwei's voice was stern. Don't forget what you said before, people shouldn't lie. The last bit of intention to fight disappeared from Liu Shijiao's heart with a poof. Her feet unknowingly started shuffling towards Ying Xize, who was standing by the side and watching the drama, as she said, "Sis, don't be angry, I didn't say anything because I was scared you'll be upset." "What should I be upset over?" Liu Jiwei asked. "Upset that your younger sister is your fan." Liu Shijiao said carefully. "When I knew you were an actress, you didn't have fans yet. I was worried that if you knew, you'd feel sad and embarrassed that your iron fan is your own sister." Humans were odd creatures, they would constantly seek external validation from outsiders. Faced with encouragement and praise from family members, they would feel that it only came from a biased love, not from an impartial standpoint. But family members always have filters. Liu Shijiao felt that Liu Jiwei was good. She was good everywhere, she should be popular. But in reality, Liu Jiwei might not want this sort of flawless filter. Hearing it, Liu Jiwei immediately knew the identity. "You're Qiao Qiao." Liu Shijiao looked up at her, then lowered her eyes again, not knowing how to face her sister. She ducked behind Ying Xize, like a child who had made a mistake. It was only then that Liu Jiwei knew the meaning behind her username. She was a girl. When putting together the Chinese characters for girl and Qiao, wouldn't that become Qiao Goodfellow? The iron fan who had always been accompanying her was her own sister. Liu Jiwei raised a hand, brushing her hair back as her other hand was on her hip. She didn't know what to say at all. Ying Xize knew of Qiao Qiao, she was one of Liu Jiwei's very famous iron fans. Cutting fan videos, photoshopping images, drawings, rainbow farts, she could do everything. Liu Jiwei even discussed her with them before. Only, nobody could have thought, this Qiao Qiao was actually Liu Jiwei's own sister. The atmosphere suddenly turned solemn, nobody speaking. Seeing it, Ying Xize broke the silence. "Sis, Shijiao has good intentions, don't be angry at her. Learning so many skills, it can't be easy on her too." Not only was it not easy, it was absolutely moving. He wanted to open this little head and see how her brain was made. How could she be so clever, knowing how to do all that? Liu Shijiao saw him defending her, almost like a harbor to weather out a storm in. So she hid further behind him as she only showed her eyes. "That's right, sis, it's just good intentions. Don't be mad at me." Liu Zhiwei looked at her, eyes cold and hard. Liu Shijiao was frightened, hiding behind Ying Xize even more. Ying Xize quickly lifted his hands and mediated, "Calm down, calm down." Liu Shijiao couldn't see Liu Zhiwei's expression, and she didn't hear her voice. At this moment, she suddenly felt a bit aggrieved and lost. "But I really watched your dramas and I really feel you acted well. Even if I'm not your sister, I wouldn't feel like you're worse than anyone, I'd still like you." She hugged her hat tightly, her fingertips scratching against the brim as her voice filled with distress. "Besides, we hadn't spoken for so long before, I thought you didn't like me. So I wanted to use another method to get closer to you, use another method to like you and repair our relationship and let you like me." A younger sister liking her older sister, wanting to be liked by her own sister, is there anything wrong with that? Hearing it, Liu Zhiwei froze. This was her first time hearing Liu Shijiao's unhappy complaint. She had never thought that the old her would actually make Liu Shijiao misunderstand. "Shijiao, I don't dislike you." "I know," Liu Shijiao said. "I knew that later." Being able to wholeheartedly happily introduce her as my family's little miss, how could Liu Zhiwei not like her? Liu Zhiwei just didn't know how to communicate with her before. Liu Zhiwei immediately frowned, "You knew and you still deceived me." The scene immediately changed. Liu Shijiao was so frightened she grabbed Ying Xize's jacket and hid her face, hurriedly explaining, "Isn't that because you told Sister Wan Si that you were afraid you'd be scorned if you told me the truth now. Then I was afraid that if I was honest with you, you would also be upset that your Iron Fan was actually your sister. So I might as well give you the choice. When you feel the time is right to tell me the truth, then I would have told you the truth too. Who knew that I'd be exposed so early?" The more she said, the weaker her voice got. In the end, she looked at the person in front of her and immediately let go of his jacket, as if she had been burnt. "Damn it, if I hadn't bumped into him, I definitely wouldn't have lost in running." Ying Xize, who could clearly feel her disdain. "I'm being a meat shield for you out of the kindness of my heart, you're actually scorning my clothes." Liu Zhiwei never thought that Liu Shijiao heard her conversation with Sang Wan Si that day, but she could understand it was all out of good intentions. Truthfully, knowing her sister was her Iron Fan Qiao, her feelings were quite complicated. In an instant, she felt as if Liu Shijiao's like for her was not based on her work, but because of her biased filter. This made her happiness when she knew she had a fan for the first time a joke. But when Liu Shijiao said she had seriously watched the shows and that even if she wasn't a fan, she wouldn't think Liu Zhiwei was worse than others, her heart had a little solace. Then hearing Liu Shijiao confess that she didn't dare to say anything because she was worried about Liu Zhiwei's emotions, her heart got even more conflicted. There was sadness and disappointment, but also happiness more than anything. Liu Shijiao was not her, she didn't know what kind of life Liu Zhiwei had before. Liu Shijiao only knew that if she found out her fan was her sister, that she might be sad. But Liu Shijiao didn't know that if she knew that her sister had worked so hard to love her, Liu Zhiwei would be happy too. In her life, she had missed out on familial love for so long, to the point that she thought she was an extra, useless part of the family. But Liu Shijiao's appearance had flipped that idea on its head. She also had a family member who loved her, she also had the right to have familial bonds. But she wasn't angry because of this. "Liu Shijiao, do you think that I'm so angry because I was deceived by you?" Liu Shijiao slowly peeked out behind Ying Xize, her voice weak, "Isn't it? Talking about it," Liu Zhiwei got even angrier, it's because you're not studying hard in school, but you're running outside chasing stars when your term exams are coming up. She had already been very guilty for a while after inviting Liu Shijiao to come over while not knowing she was preparing for her exams. In the end, Liu Shijiao left school today to participate in her variety show filming. It was going to be the exam period soon. This child completely didn't care about her studies. The more Liu Jiwei thought about it, the angrier she got. What was even more overboard was that she had been the one to ask Wen Yao to send the tickets over. No, her blood pressure's rising again. Liu Shijiao, you're really a hard-working study inspection team leader. Ying Xize was surprised too. Liu Jiwei had been angry over this all along. He stopped being a mediator, immediately targeting Liu Shijiao along with Liu Jiwei as he twisted around to ask, your term exams are coming, why aren't you studying in school? If it was him, he couldn't accept his own younger siblings coming out to chase stars instead of studying too. Liu Shijiao was a bit cowed. I wanted to support my sister, she doesn't have as many fans as you guys. Liu Jiwei immediately sent a killing look over. Compared to her sister's studies, she would rather have no support. Liu Shijiao immediately swore, there are 2 weeks to revise, and I've already studied all the major subjects. I definitely won't fail. Liu Jiwei's anger subsided slightly, but her tone was still strict. Pass me your course director's contact number later. When your results come out, I'm going to ask if you failed. If you dare to fail, just wait and see. Liu Shijiao had never seen her sister so fierce before. Sob. Because the situation was too complicated and Liu Jiwei was still angry, she didn't know if she was considered to have successfully survived. Ying Xize sighed, okay sis, don't be angry too, she had good intentions. He looked at the time, and helped Liu Shijiao out, your dorm has a curfew, right? Go back early. Even if she stayed, she would just be scolded. Liu Shijiao nodded quickly, yes, I'll go look for my dorm mate now. Then she looked left and right and fell silent. Sis, I don't recognize the way. Liu Jiwei. She sighed deeply. Lu Mingming looked at Liu Jiwei, not able to react for a while. What did Liu Shijiao just say? Liu Jiwei is her sister, her real elder sister Liu Jiwei. Was it that Liu Jiwei with good acting skills and who was acquainted with Sangwon Ci and Ying Xize, was it she stood in the wind? Liu Shijiao pulled the dazed girl with her into the taxi. Sis, we'll go back first, bye bye, good night. Liu Jiwei wanted to send them back, but Liu Shijiao refused her. Now that her sister had some popularity, it would be troublesome if she drove her back to school and got recognized. Besides, because she was still schooling, her school life wouldn't be peaceful if people knew her sister was an actress. It would be best if she could continue having a quiet life in school. Liu Jiwei sighed, call me when you get back to school. Liu Shijiao nodded and shut the door. The taxi driver started driving, further and further down the road under the street lamps. 5 minutes later, Lu Mingming finally came back to her senses. She grabbed Liu Shijiao, Liu Shijiao, I'll be lenient if you come clean but strict if you refuse. Liu Shijiao, okay, I'll tell you everything. Liu Jiwei stood under the lamp, looking as the taxi left. She memorized the car plate number and turned to walk over to Ying Xize. Under the light, her face was filled with apology and a hint of guilt came across in her voice. Sorry to have embarrassed myself in front of you. Ying Xize didn't mind, it's okay, it's nothing big. Liu Jiwei sighed again. A younger sister's betrayal had hurt the older sister's heart. Ying Xize tried his best to comfort her. Your sister is an adult too, I'm sure she knows what she's doing. I believe she won't abandon her studies. Besides, she's so cute, right? It's pretty good to have a sister like this, don't be angry. Liu Jiwei nodded, then said, we haven't met in a while, I didn't have much time to chat with you last we met too. How is it, have you been well lately? Pretty well, Ying Xize smiled. Shall we find a coffee shop and sit and chat? Liu Jiwei agreed. The two of them had nothing scheduled after, so they let their assistants and managers go home first, then they went to have coffee together. Ying Xize personally drove, primarily to show off his new car to Liu Jiwei. With a bit more effort, he would be able to afford a Lamborghini. When they got to the coffee shop, they asked for a private room where they wouldn't be disturbed. From inside the room, they could see the lake outside. The brilliant lights were reflected on the surface of the lake, like the stars sparkling in the sky. Ying Xize turned his coffee cup a few times, then thought about Sang Wan Ci and asked, that's right, do you want to call teacher Sang and see if she wants to join? Liu Jiwei looked at him, raising an eyebrow. Understanding, Ying Xize raised his hands in surrender, don't misunderstand, I've already let her go, I really don't like her anymore. I only said that because I saw your relationship is good. Taking someone else as a replacement and putting his own feelings on them, he won't do that kind of stuff again. He really was too misguided the first time around. Forget it, there was nothing to quibble about. Didn't he make even more mistakes? Didn't he think Liu Jiwei was a man? This sort of black history, it's fine even if it was never brought up again. Liu Jiwei propped up her cheek with a hand and asked curiously, then what about your white moonlight? Liu Jiwei recalled that in the original script, Ying Xize had been an acceptable tool after he blackened. He had been unable to get the female lead, so in the end, he retreated and left the country to be with his white moonlight. She always felt that this script had clearly shown Ying Xize's only use as a tool, making him trash and his white moonlight a trash recycling station, forcing them together. This made her suspicious if the white moonlight really even liked Ying Xize in the end. Maybe that was just another tool that was used by the plot, just like Ying Xize. He was clearly a sand sculpture kid who knew how to change when he made mistakes, who wasn't willing to hurt others, who was so embarrassed when he mistook her as a man. But in the end, didn't he end up as a blackened tool by the script? So this round, if Ying Xize was still going to choose to look for his white moonlight, then she would have to have a good conversation with the white moonlight. She's doing well, Ying Xize smiled. She has already found her soulmate. Liu Jiwei froze. Ying Xize continued, he looks like a very good man. Liu Jiwei's eyes showed her confusion. Ying Xize looked at the lake outside the window, his gaze calm. They have topics in common, they have the same goals, they have compatible viewpoints, and they have a radiant future. Ying Xize slowly smiled, it's a good thing. This world was so big, it was really a lucky thing to find someone who was a good match. In this moment, Liu Jiwei didn't know if the original script had changed by accident, or if the plot lines that concerned Ying Xize had changed because he became good. She asked Lao Wu. Lao Wu calmly said, it'll change. Everybody's actions and decisions will affect the plot from there on out, and even affect the people next to them. Just like him. When you taught him how to let go and to not chase after someone who would never accept him, he probably also let go of his feelings for his white moonlight. Since he let go, then it might have affected his white moonlight's ending too. After Lao Wu finished speaking, Lu Jiwei heard Ying Xize taking the initiative. To be honest, actually, after I finished filming with teacher saying, me and her, I mean my white moonlight, I spoke to her seriously. I said that I thought about it and realized that we're not on the same path. I was thankful for what she said to me at the start, to let me do what I like to do. From now on, I want to obsessively chase after her too. I hope she can have her own life that would be perfect with or without love. She was quite happy I could figure it out. Listening to it, Lu Jiwei suddenly felt like he had grown up a lot. When she first met him, he was still a kid who was chasing after his distant moonlight. She thought, maybe it was that conversation that changed his white moonlight's fate. She let go of him, and he also let go of his white moonlight. From now on, he only had to be himself. Ying Xize was still speaking, turning his coffee cup around on the spot. I was too stubborn and childish before, not understanding what truly liking someone was. I thought liking someone was just doing your best to satisfy them and keep them by your side. But I forgot, everybody has their own pursuits, there's not only love in life. So love should also be mutual. Let go when it's time to let go, and not force the other person to stop progressing because of you. Lu Jiwei smiled and nodded, love should be mutual. She agreed with that. With oneself, with the other person, with a future that had both people, with a long life. You've grown up. Lu Jiwei mused. Ying Xize couldn't help but laugh, yes, I've grown up. Thank you to teacher Lu for your words of wisdom. When I've bought my Lamborghini, I'll make sure to invite you to be the first to ride in it. Lu Jiwei, thanks, it's good enough that you'll be able to treat the other person well when you start dating next time. Ying Xize, don't worry, before you start afresh, you need to learn how to delete. I've already deleted the past of that childish emotion, and deleted her contact. From today onwards, they would live their own lives without disturbing each other. Enough about me, let's talk about you. Ying Xize took a sip of coffee and asked excitedly, sis, how about it, have you met anybody you like recently? Lu Jiwei. Why was he so similar to Lu Shijiao, concerned about this matter? Did you two kids have nothing else to be concerned about? She picked up her cup, don't be gossipy. At this moment, her phone rang out. Sang Wanxi had sent a message. Wanxi, I'm back in the production crew, have you returned home? Lu Jiwei, not yet, I'm having a coffee and chatting with Xiao Ying. Wanxi, oh. Wanxi, go home early, don't forget to text me when you're back. Lu Jiwei couldn't help but smile. Lu Jiwei, I got it. Sitting on the other side and seeing her smile, Ying Xize supported his chin with his hand and called out, sis. Lu Jiwei looked up, Ying Xize's face showed his curiosity, you're dating? Smiling like a blooming flower. Lu Jiwei. Scram scram scram. She wanted to date, but Sang Wanxi had to be willing. Ying Xize chuckled, sis, if you like them, then chase after them and take the initiative. Who are you? You're Lu Jiwei, you're a good cook, your handiwork is awesome, your acting skills are great. There's definitely nobody who can reject you. Lu Jiwei kept her phone calmly. Diddy, you're still too young. The other person is definitely not someone who can be wooed just by taking initiative, that's the female lead who doesn't follow the script. And I am just a small, ordinary transparent entity. Lu Jiwei pointed at him, we're all people with no relationship experience, don't try to be a general here, okay? Ying Xize laughed foolishly and rubbed the back of his head in embarrassment. That's right, what happened to the drama you signed with? When will you start filming? I've signed the contract, I'm going to visit the director these few days to see if he has any requests before we start filming. Okay, work hard, let us go, Lu Jiwei. You work hard too and buy your Lamborghini sooner, so I won't have to go to the trash can to find discount vouchers for you. Don't bring it up, I want to laugh every time I think of it, ha ha ha. God, there was actually such an outrageous birthday present. It truly is you, Lu Jiwei. Lu Jiwei drank a cup of coffee. Don't laugh bro, that was because your sister's luck was so terrible. Before Lu Jiwei went to see the director of the new show, the show they filmed on Tuesday finally aired and immediately got on the hot search on the same day. It was about the topic Wei Shi Bulletin Wan is real. When Lu Jiwei opened it, she took a while to realize this was the CP name for her and Sang Wan C's pairing. In the past, it was Master Servant. Why was there a CP name for the real actors? In the blink of an eye she opened the topic, and the hottest post was one with 3 photos. The first photo was of the black silk strap on Sang Wan C's wrist. The second photo was of the black silk strap on her neck. The third photo was of the model photo of the outfit Sang Wan C wore on that day. In it, it clearly showed that the black silk straps were a matching pair. Looking at the photos, it was meaningful. A lot of people were dragged into the CP pit by this. At Gold Swallowing Beast, Sang Wan C, why is the accessory for your outfit on someone else's neck, and why did you know someone was afraid of pain? Give me a detailed explanation. I don't lack that little bit of data usage. At It's Monday again, what kind of bad intentions can Sang Sang have? Sang Sang just wants to use a strap to tie her wife down dog head. At Let Us Talk About Some Adult Stuff, Wu Sang Sang even took Lul's punishment for her. She even burrowed into her wife's embrace when her nose was hurting. Wu this isn't friendship, this is goddamn love. At Squeezing my brain juices to think of an ID, I'm an adult, I can see everything now, more. At Overgrown Lake, family, I declare this is the most fragrant couple in Sang Sang's list of CPS. When the involved party Lu Jiwei looked at her phone and all these comments, she was stunned. God, there were so many people shipping their real CP. Did Wan Si know? Would she be unhappy that people were now shipping them and not just their characters? But thinking about it, it seemed like it wasn't likely that she would be unhappy. She had seen Sang Wan C's multiple CPS sent up the hot search before, that's why she got the nickname that she killed both men and women. But she had never seen Sang Wan Si say anything. She probably had gotten used to it, unable to feel anything about this sort of stuff. Go ahead and ship, it wouldn't affect her cold heart anyway. Lu Jiwei thought that it was probably the same case for her, it was just a CP, and it wasn't the only one. Thinking about it, she felt a bit depressed. Then, Wen Yao suddenly texted her on WeChat. Wen Yao, Sister Jiwei, your CP with Sang Wan Si is really popular. Lu Jiwei, oh, it's alright. Wen Yao, don't be modest, it's super high. Wen Yao, it's the most popular out of all of Sang Wan C's CPS. Wen Yao, the important thing is, she's willing to interact with you. All the other CPS were imagined by others, there was absolutely no interaction at all. Lu Jiwei thought to herself, of course, we're friends. Which pair of friends wouldn't interact? Wen Yao, so I wanted to say. Wen Yao, why not, you two do a business CP. Lu Jiwei. Wen Yao, you can ask if she's willing. Wen Yao, I feel like if she's willing, her company will agree too. Wen Yao, Sang Wan Si, the true artiste who had power. Business CP, as the name implies, is a fake one. There were a lot of business CPS in the entertainment industry. When it was active, they would act sweet and loving, giving CP fans sweets every day, shoving sugar down their throats. Once the business period was over, they would go their separate ways and do their own stuff. Business CPS were especially suitable for main leads who had just finished working on idol dramas together. But Sangwon Si and her weren't the main leads in any idol drama. In both dramas they had acted in together, she had died in Sangwon Si's embrace in both of them. How could this become a business CP? Besides, Sangwon Si was getting more and more popular. Her fame couldn't even match up to Sangwon Si's popularity, it was clearly just her leeching off Sangwon Si's benefits. There was an 80% chance she would be scolded for trying to ride on Sangwon Si's popularity. But, looking at Sangwon Si's WeChat conversation, she sighed. Why did I subconsciously open the chat with her? Are my fingers so reliable? But I do want to be in a CP with her. But I don't dare to ask. She lay on the bed, her feet kicking against the mattress. As she typed, she suddenly stopped and raised her head. It's coming. Lao Wu. Her face was serious, the feeling's coming. Lao Wu's face was one of confusion. The next second, the system's voice rang out. Mission issued, form a CP with female protagonist Sangwon Si. System reminder, no time limit. Liu Jiwei's face showed her pride as she blew away a strand of hair that fell down. Ha, I guessed it. The outrageous system never fails. Lao Wu was speechless. I feel like right now, the you who can accurately predict when it'll show up is even more outrageous. Outrageous Chapter 65. After having crossed paths with the outrageous system so many times, Liu Jiwei had grown sensitive. She felt like she had grown stronger. At the same time, her heart jumped for joy. It was the first time she liked this system so much. Thanks to the system, she finally had a reason to be brave. But thinking about the system's mission, she tied up her hair and lay back down on the bed, asking tentatively, forming this CP. Does it want me to succeed or not? Lao Wu sat in the control room, sipping on his tea. What do you think? The answer was obvious. Liu Jiwei. But she couldn't predict if Sangwon Si wanted this attention. She felt like Sangwon Si didn't need it. Sangwon Si wasn't like her, starting from nothing with no resources. From all the previous times Sangwon Si had been paired with people in a CP, there had never been a time when she responded and interacted with the other person. So she probably really didn't need it. Even if they were friends, even if they were close. She sighed. Hearing it, Lao Wu put down his teacup and said, I've discovered that ever since you started liking Sangwon Si, you're particularly unconfident when it comes to anything to do with her. She flipped over, preparing to say something. Lao Wu suddenly mused, that's love. Liu Jiwei flipped over again, experienced. Experienced. He picked up his cup again, turning it in his hand. Love is a strange thing, it always makes one become self-critical. When Bai Ji was still in the system, I had the best relationship with her but I felt she wouldn't like me, I had no confidence. Just like you, I thought she was very good, very outstanding, so I couldn't match up. Liu Jiwei was suddenly intrigued. You were worried you wouldn't match up to her. She sat up excitedly. You're a high-level administrator. Didn't you say the higher the number, that means the more powerful you are, you're ranked 5th. Lao Wu smiled slightly. Silly child, do you know what's her rank? Liu Jiwei was curious. What? Lao Wu put down the cup and slowly said, 1. She was the number 1 most powerful high-level administrator that nobody could deny. Bai Zhi's excellence was clear for everybody in the system to see. She used her own ability to prove that women were not inferior to men at all. It was precisely because of this excellence that it had been hard for her to leave when she chose to withdraw from the system. The main computer didn't want to let go of the most excellent student it had trained. And his liking for her was like Liu Jiwei's liking for Sang Wanxi, like the stars chasing the moon. No matter how bright the star was, it would never be able to cover the brilliance of the moon, and it would never be able to take the moon for itself. Unless the moon took the initiative to move towards the star. So when Bai Zhi rejected him after he gathered all his courage to confess, it was within his expectations. But so what love itself was akin to a moth flying towards a flame, it was out of anyone's control. Liu Jiwei was shocked. So impressive. Talking about the person he liked, Lao Wu's voice became incredibly gentle. Of course she's impressive, extremely impressive. So my situation is very similar to yours. Liu Jiwei's brows lowered again, that's saying I'll also be rejected by Wanxi. In this situation, she was Lao Wu and Sang Wanxi was Bai Zhi. Bai Zhi had rejected Lao Wu. Sang Wanxi would reject her too. Hearing that, Lao Wu laughed. Don't think that. You and Sang Wanxi are different from me and Bai Zhi. At least, Bai Zhi wouldn't kiss me. Liu Jiwei immediately raised her head, the light in her eyes gleaming. Lao Wu continued, although I can't determine if Sang Wanxi's willingness to kiss you stems from liking you or from curiosity about intimacy, but I can confirm that you're not the same in her heart, you're a special existence. As for how special and different, you'll have to figure it out yourself. Talking so much, Lao Wu felt more and more like he was Liu Jiwei's real mother. Not helping the host to finish the missions emotionlessly, but helping his daughter solve her romance problems. It was more emotional than his missions before. He thought to himself, maybe this is Liu Jiwei's charm. Even after everything she encountered, she was pitiful but still optimistic and strong. Like a flower that continued to survive on earth regardless of how the wind and rain battered it, welcoming the next sunny day. So people couldn't help but want to be good to her, to encourage her to walk her own route, to accomplish her dreams, and to pursue a perfect love. Believe in yourself, Lao Wu said. You have to be optimistic and confident. Liu Jiwei paused, then looked at her phone. Sang Wanxi had said the same thing to her before. Lao Wu continued, I remember Bai Zhi told me before that if she met someone she liked, she would definitely use any and all methods to pursue them. No matter if the ending is good or bad, she at least had to convey her feelings to that person. So I hope you can be as courageous as Bai Zhi. Besides, no matter what, you're the male protagonist. The male and female protagonists are determined to fall in love. Hearing that, Liu Jiwei mumbled, do people have to be together just because they're the male and female protagonists? Yes, Lao Wu changed to another method to comfort her. Because you both like each other, that's why you can become the main lead in each other's hearts, understand? Love was the crux. Love was the guiding light in the world. Hearing that, she finally had a bit of selfishness. She typed down a message and sucked in a breath, gathering her courage to send it out. This time, she would take the initiative to be the male protagonist. The moon was high in the sky and the night breeze was slightly cool. Sang Won-si sat outside on the balcony holding her phone, her lips curved up in a smile. Her gaze was locked on the name on the hot search. Wei Shibuletan Wan. Finally, they had been elevated to a real person CP. She had waited a long time for this. The netizens asked how the black silk strap had gotten onto Liu Jiwei's neck. Of course she had tied it on Liu Jiwei with her own hands. She hadn't even asked for it back from Liu Jiwei, leaving it with her decisively, letting the silk strap naturally become one of Liu Jiwei's accessories. As if it was a couple accessory. She didn't know if Liu Jiwei liked her or not, but she could confirm that she held a different position in Liu Jiwei's heart. A position that let her play these small tricks and test Liu Jiwei. She wasn't someone who liked to sit and wait for things to happen. And someone had told her before that if she liked someone, she should chase after them and let them fall into her trap, unable to leave. Even if she didn't manage to obtain the other person's heart, at least she had managed to show them her feelings. So, her Jiwei, please fall into her trap soon. Fall for her soon, reciprocate her feelings soon. Become the hunter's deer soon. At this time, a new message jumped out on the screen. Jiwei, Wan-si, would you be willing to form a business CP with me? Business CP. Seeing this term, Sang Wan-si's eyebrows went up. She had never formed a CP before and never signed a contract about it, but she seemed to remember. During the duration of a business CP, neither party could form CPS with anybody else. In other words, even if it was fake, Liu Jiwei would belong only to her. She opened the conversation. As if afraid she wouldn't agree or that she would misunderstand, Liu Jiwei was working hard to explain. Jiwei, my manager saw our hot search and felt it was getting popular, so she asked me to come speak to you. Jiwei, I know this is me riding on your popularity. Jiwei, it's okay even if you aren't willing, I was just asking. It was actually because of popularity, not because of her. Liu Jiwei, am I not as good as popularity? Sang Wan-si, am I not as good as popularity? Liu Jiwei held her phone. What does that mean? Sang Wan-si calmly typed. Sang Wan-si, it sounds too exploitative if you say it's for popularity, I don't like it. Sang Wan-si, I would rather hope you say it because you want to form a CP with me. Sang Wan-si, it lol seem like you like me a lot, I would be very happy. Liu Jiwei felt like she had been flirted with through the screen, her ears turning red. Save me, save me, save me, how is this kid so good at this? You'd be very happy if I like you, really? Is it what I think it means? She put down her phone and hugged her pillow in embarrassment, rolling around on the bed. After 3 minutes, she suddenly calmed down. Something's not right. I still have the fan identity. She couldn't be talking about a fan's liking towards her idol, right? A fan suggesting a CP with her idol for popularity, that really didn't sound as nice as a fan wanting to form a CP with her idol because she liked her idol, right? And she used to worry about whether I would climb the wall and like other people, and she compared herself with Ying Xize and Meng Lianyu. The more Liu Jiwei thought, the calmer she got. Indeed, she had thought too much. She picked up the phone and looked at the sentence. It lol seem like you like me a lot, and she suddenly felt like Sang Wan-si would continue with the next sentence, more than you like Meng Lianyu. Ah, Liu Jiwei, you were too self-confident. Sang Wan-si was waiting for Liu Jiwei's reply. She didn't know if Liu Jiwei understood her meaning. As long as you say you like me, it's fine even if you use me. Her fingertip continuously scrolled across the screen. 2 minutes later, she finally got a new reply. Jiwei, of course, it's definitely because I like our teacher saying, so I have a bit of selfishness in wanting to form a CP. Jiwei, really like you, really like you. Jiwei, teacher Meng isn't competing in this. Sang Wanxi's lips slowly curved upwards as she read the first 2 messages. When she saw the last one, her lips immediately turned down. What business does teacher Meng have here? Could Liu Jiwei want to form a CP with her aunt and be her aunt-in-law, or did she think Sang Wanxi was talking about the liking a fan had for their idol Liu Jiwei? You're not smart. She thought about refuting it, then reconsidered and decided to give up. Forget it, she would take her time. Liu Jiwei hadn't fallen into her love trap yet, she wasn't indispensable. Directly confessing now might scare Liu Jiwei away. At that time, it would be impossible to form even a business CP. They could form a CP first, there was plenty of time, wouldn't there be plenty of opportunities later to slowly become a real couple? Besides, Liu Jiwei had said it herself, she might like women. And Sang Wanxi herself was only working hard to amplify this possibility and make it happen. Liu Jiwei hugged her phone and sat on the side of the bed, waiting for Sang Wanxi's reply. There was a wooden platform under her bed, with a row of drawers at the bottom. Her feet rested on the platform as she propped up her face with her hand. She was so nervous that even her legs had started to tremble. Would Sang Wanxi agree? Would she have to suffer an electric shock, or would she have a beautiful business CP? If Sang Wanxi didn't agree, how would she navigate past this awkward topic at this moment? She felt like she wasn't asking if Sang Wanxi wanted to form a business CP, but that she was asking, are you willing to be together with me? She was so nervous she couldn't sit still. Ding! The phone vibrated. She quickly unlocked it. Wanxi, I agree. It was like a ray of hope had suddenly shone on Liu Jiwei, illuminating the glimmer in her eyes. Wanxi, I've already told Sister Zhang, you can tell your manager to discuss the terms with Sister Zhang. When it came to forming a business CP, both parties' teams had to be informed and discuss the contract. Liu Jiwei was so excited she stood up. She even spoke to Zhang Xianrui. Already awesome, this was great. Lao Wu calmly watched as she spun around in circles happily. He picked up his tea and drank a mouthful. It was clearly just agreeing to a fake CP, but someone was so happy it was like the other person had agreed to a real relationship. Ah! This blasted feeling called love. System Judgment successfully formed a CP with female protagonist Sang Wanxi. Mission point +1. Please work hard, host. System reminder, the host has collected 5 mission points, and can draw a prize. Liu Jiwei's happiness suddenly paused. Lao Wu quirked an eyebrow, oh ho, are you going to draw it? Liu Jiwei thought about it, not drawing, I want to save it. Save until I have 10 or 5 draws to do it. Is that okay? Lao Wu said solemnly, okay. Liu Jiwei decided, that's what we'll do. She no longer believed in her ability to draw something good with one try. She had to put her faith in multiple draws, she might get everything she wants. Meng Lianyu paused in the action of pouring wine. Wanxi took the initiative to form a CP with someone. Zhang Xianrui's voice came from the phone, yes, your niece took the initiative to form a CP with someone, that someone's even a woman. Who? Sheng Yu's Liu Jiwei, you probably don't know her. I know, I've heard Wanxi talk about her. Meng Lianyu raised her glass and swirled the wine around, her voice light. It's pretty good. Zhang Xianrui didn't he understand. Where is it good? Meng Lianyu smiled and sat on the sofa. If it's Lu Jiwei then it means my niece's heart is kind. When Sang Wansi first mentioned Lu Jiwei to her, she checked on Lu Jiwei's background. She accidentally found that this was a kid who had potential but was never given a chance to bloom. If only she had been given a chance, she wouldn't have been buried and left the industry at the start after acting only a few times. She quite liked Lu Jiwei. She liked that indomitable strength in her eyes. Sang Wansi taking the initiative to form a CP with Lu Jiwei, maybe it was to help bring a bit of popularity to her that was good too. At least her niece would be willing to try new things instead of just acting and not caring about the world. She was rather worried that Sang Wansi would be forced by her father to the point that she would go into a production crew and never come out, only acting for the rest of her life. Life is so beautiful, of course one has to do what they want. Meng Lianyu said gently. As long as she's not doing anything illegal, I'll support whatever she wants to do. Zhang Xianrui tisked, you really are an open-minded aunt. Meng Lianyu didn't deny this compliment. Zhang Xianrui continued, then her father Chairman Meng isn't familiar with the twists and turns of the entertainment industry, if he sees his own daughter showing up on the hot search with another woman. One he explode. Meng Lianyu's smile grew even wider. You think he doesn't know that man blows up my phone with calls the instant his daughter has any news? Wansi has also debuted for 2 years now, and she's naturally popular. Does she even lack being sent up the hot search by CPS? So in this regard, my brother already has more knowledge than me. Meng Lianyu put down her wine glass. All right, I know what you mean. I'm here to deal with her father, you can do what she wants to do. Zhang Xianrui chuckled, that's good then. Such a good artiste, she didn't want Chairman Meng to drag her home like that. After the two teams came to an agreement on the business CP, the two of them started promoting it. Their Weibo accounts started having more and more traces of each other. It wasn't the type of content that passionately and directly spoke about love. It was all normal, ordinary posts or posts that showed off their small gifts to each other. Today, Lu Jiwei posted a photo of a black silk strap and captioned it, "A gift from our teacher Sang." The next day, Sang Wansi would post the hand-knitted gloves that she got from Lu Jiwei last New Year and caption it, "Knitted by our teacher Lu." There was not a single extra word, it was simple and ordinary. But it showed off their genuineness. This was something that belonged solely to her, other elder and younger sister didn't have it. The CP fans were screaming out how easy it was to ship them. Wei Shibulet and Wan's CP Super Topic 2 had new fans coming in every day because of this. I'm so weak, I'll use 3 of my hairs to swear, they must be dating. Red-faced, this is the first time Sang Sang is taking the initiative to promote, we view Sang Sang has grown up. What's the relationship between you two? You two are both adults, you have to learn how to satisfy fans' requests. So give us more, silk strap is fine, gloves are fine, dumplings are fine, post more, the audience loves it. Lu Jiwei was at home scrolling through the comments, when she suddenly exhaled. Thankfully, there weren't a lot of negative comments. And a lot of people felt they were compatible. She used her burner account to see the content people were posting in the super topic. The more she saw, the happier she got. The more she saw, the more she felt the two of them really were fragrant. We view, Wei Shibulet and Wan is too shippable. Even though it was fake, she was really happy. Ever since Lu Shijiao's identity was exposed, she didn't dare to log into Jiao Jiao's account anymore. She stayed in her dorm and studied, preparing for the term exams. Today, she finally checked her phone to relax. Only to find out her sister and Sang Wansi had formed a CP. They even had a CP super topic. Lu Shijiao. I've only been away for a while, you guys even have a CP now. Shipping a real person CP1T give you happiness, wake up. But why did my sister cooperate and interact? This can't be real. Did they announce their relationship while I was studying hard? Then why didn't I see any news about it? Because Lu Jiwei had said that she had someone she liked, so Lu Shijiao was very curious if that person was Sang Wansi or not. Or else why would her sister be so proactive on Weibo? She really wanted to send a line of meaningful question marks to Lu Jiwei. But she was afraid Lu Jiwei would find out she was checking her phone instead of studying. Sending it to Sang Wansi. That's not right either. She was one of the parties involved after all, how awkward would it be to ask her directly? Then send it to Ying Xize. He kept calling Lu Jiwei's sister, he can't possibly have no information at all, right? Lu Shijiao, if you don't know anything, I'll remove your brother qualifications. After she decided, she realized something. No matter whether it was Sang Wansi or Ying Xize, she didn't have their contact. Lusi Jiao, fuck, I've miscalculated. So she chose the simplest method that might not work. Weibo private message. Lu Shijiao, are you there? I'm Lu Shijiao, I don't know if you still remember me. I have something to ask you. Can you reply once you see this? Lu Shijiao, please. JPG. You had to act the part if you were begging someone. She felt like her attitude was already very humble, hopefully he could see it. 10 minutes later, she received a reply. Ying Xize, it's actually you. Ying Xize, you're actually not studying. Ying Xize, I'm going to complain. Lu Shijiao. You dog. Lu Shijiao, I just finished studying, I'm taking a break now. You're not allowed to go, you're not allowed to accuse me. Lu Shijiao, roar. JPG. Ying Xize, you're done studying, that's good then. Ying Xize, pat head. JPG. Ying Xize, what's up? Lu Shijiao didn't beat around the bush, getting straight to the point. Lu Shijiao, what's going on with my sister and sister Wansi's CP super topic? Lu Shijiao, what's going on with their Weibo too? Lu Shijiao, I've been studying these few days, I don't know anything, they wouldn't be together, right? Ying Xize raised his eyebrows, feeling begrudgingly amazed by Lu Shijiao's whimsical thinking. Ying Xize, why would you think that? Lu Shijiao? Don't you know Ying Xize, know what? Lu Shijiao, know that my sister likes someone. Lu Shijiao, hat, you still want to be a brother like that? Lu Shijiao, Ying Xize, your brother qualifications have been removed by me, from now on, you have no right to call her sister anymore. What stinky brother, he didn't care about sister's love life at all, he didn't care about sister. Not qualified, eliminate him. Ying Xize didn't reply. 5 minutes later, he sent over a screenshot. The screenshot was of his conversation with Lu Jiwei, the content was simple. Ying Xize, GGGGGGGG. Lu Jiwei, what is it? The timestamp was just after she removed his younger brother qualifications. Lu Shijiao. It was hard. Her fist was hard. So what if this dog was good looking, he still deserved a beating. After Ying Xize had finished teasing Lu Shijiao, he calmly replied, they're just business CPS, don't think too much, focus on your studies. Ying Xize, you know about business CPS right? It's fake. Ying Xize, and they're mostly showing the friendship side. How people want to ship it is the business of the CP fans. Ying Xize, but their relationship originally felt like they were dating anyway. Ying Xize, oh, don't you know that your sister and teacher Sang's friendship is so good it's like they're an old couple. Ying Xize, Lu Shijiao, I'm removing your younger sister qualifications. What a good turnabout, using someone else's method to defeat them. Lu Shijiao, I'll bloody give you 2 punches. JPG. Lu Shijiao, give you another punch. JPG. Ying Xize, block. JPG. Ying Xize, hat, you're still too weak. JPG. Lu Shijiao's unwillingness to be defeated came up and she started crazily sending expression packs, until she got defeated with one sentence. Ying Xize, classmate Lu, you've been playing with your phone for half an hour now, it's time to study. Lu Shijiao. Was he the study inspection team's co-captain? Ying Xize, let me know if something else comes up and you need help next time. Ying Xize, I'll give you my contact, I might not be able to see Weibo private messages. This was Lu Jiwei's sister after all. If she looked for him for help, he would help if he could. But the precondition was that he had to be able to see this classmate Lu Shijiao's message. Lu Shijiao thought about it, then replied, there's something now. Ying Xize, what? Lu Shijiao, you can't go about saying my sister has someone she likes. Lu Shijiao, don't let nosy people know about it, if the whole world finds out, I'll definitely chase you to the ends of the earth and kill you. Ying Xize could almost see the young lady's fierce face through the screen, and he couldn't help but laugh. Ying Xize, don't worry, I know my limits. Lu Shijiao, also, if my sister really has a girlfriend. Lu Shijiao, you need to tell me in advance. Lu Shijiao, so I can be mentally prepared. Ying Xize, what sort of mental preparation does this require? Lu Shijiao, because I have never thought about it before. She had thought that her sister would date, get married, and she even thought that her sister would win the Most Outstanding Female Actress award. But she had never thought about her sister finding a girlfriend. Because she had grown up surrounded by heterosexual relationships, she naturally had never thought in the other direction. Putting down her phone, her hands supported her head as her thoughts drifted. So will my sister really find a girlfriend if I don't get along with that person? Then what?